singing is something that was ran through my blood, like my family are like, they're God's property. So like the people that created the song Stomp back in the day, that was my aunties, uncles. I'm a pastor's kid, turned pastor myself.
Come on.
Turned pastor's wife.
Come on.
Turned pastor's ex-wife.
And I feel good here.
You should.
Outside of the interview I did a few weeks ago. A lot of y'all probably saw it. Don't judge me.
I started writing a book called The Virgin Married.
Okay.
Just because of all of the misconceptions I had surrounding sex.
Mm-hmm.
I was a novice when it came to sex because the church didn't talk about it.
Oh, not at all.
But right before, God really started working on my heart and my mind about holistic living and eating healthier. And now, like, thanks to you, learning about my blood type.
Welcome back to The Couch. I know it's been a minute, but we back. And I have a special guest who I love. Okay, and before I introduce her, I just want you guys to subscribe to the channel. Well, that's what we're going to do first. We're going to have some ground rules. Subscribe to the channel, and I want you to send this episode to 5 people. Get it in your church group chat, your mama daddy group chat, your aunties, your cousins. Send this episode to them right now, okay? And you know what? This person on the couch today, okay, is special. This is Jay, okay? And today, y'all, we have the pleasure of sitting down with her. And I mean, multi-talented individual who has graced us with soulful melodies, powerful words, okay? Inspiring messages both on stage and off stage, okay?
Thank you.
Jay, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. It's so like...
Make it look good.
Babiana, you look good.
There you go. With a T. Okay.
You look good. Yeah.
How's your heart today?
Oh, you get the best. Girl. My heart is actually... It's full. It's full of, because I've really been intentional with guarding my heart and also putting the things that I desire in my heart versus allowing the pain of everything that I've gone through live there. Yeah, I let it pass through, but I always try to like fill it more with what I desire and what I want. And I'm trying to really, so my heart is good because I'm very, very hopeful. I'm still grieved by a lot of things in the world, in the church, in society.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful because I know that I have the power to bring what I'm supposed to bring me.
Thank you.
Well, how your heart?
I'm great. My heart is in this peaceful place. I'm doing what I love. And so every time I'm here, I'm good. And I always start off really nervous, but once I start talking, it gets really peaceful. This
really good. You good at
my space. And I feel good here.
You should.
Outside of the interview I did a few weeks ago. A lot of y'all probably saw it. Don't judge me.
Don't.
Okay? My path.
It's fine.
We're going to talk about this interview in a
still fine because
thank you. And she's a marketing genius, y'all, by the way. But okay, let's not do that. Because my next question is, who is Jay for those who don't know you?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know me, and a lot of people don't know if they know me. Like,
come on, because they think they know, but they don't have.
And then, yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't even realize that they know me because they've heard of me without knowing it was me. So I'm a girl from St. Louis. I'm 42. Where? Don't see it.
Right. I don't know at all.
So anyways, no, but I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, currently living in Atlanta. But I'm a pastor's kid, turned pastor myself.
Come on.
Turned pastor's wife.
Come on.
Turned pastor's ex-wife. Period. Point blank. But I'm a singer, songwriter. Singing is something that was ran through my blood, like my family are like, they're God's property. So like the people that created the song Stomp back in the day, that was my aunties, uncles. Yeah, so like music has run through my family, my whole entire life. I didn't want to do music, music kind of found me, you know, and so I always did it in church, in my dad's church, but I didn't want to do it professionally. But then God really allowed doors to open through Christian hip hop, which was something I wasn't even allowed to listen to at first because I was in Church of God in Christ home. We couldn't even listen to hip hop at all.
Wow.
Couldn't wear red. Couldn't none of that then.
Yeah. I both is Baptist, so we had the rules.
We didn't think y'all was saved.
Cause listen, that pastor was gonna smoke that cigarette, but he got up there. Okay, he was gonna smoke it.
You know, because we was gonna be real judgmental about it. You smell like cigarettes.
Yeah, the speaking tongue from
and we did, honey. Y'all just had them Baptist fits, breaking pews.
Yes, that was it.
Okay, we fall out, we shout real.
I learned the order. I learned the order.
We do things decently and in order
of God in Christ.
All right. So
yeah, like, oh, you got to get these. I was like, I got to get one.
You say thank you Jesus to you. Thank you Jesus. Thank you Jesus. Holler. Yeah, she got it. Yeah. You put the microphone to your mouth. Fabuloso. Fabuloso. Clean on the inside. Yeah. My God.
The Holy Ghost.
Okay. But yes. So I couldn't even listen to hip hop, but through the doors of hip hop, you know, like my music and my style, which was always a bit more eclectic, you know, was able to reach the masses. So helping people like Lecrae and Tadashi and Trib and people like The Truth, people in the cross movement room. So I was able to do that. And then I started singing backgrounds of Mary Mary and all these different people. But then what I went to school for is marketing and PR. So I got my undergraduate and graduate degrees in that. And so always worked for PR firms, marketing firms while going to church. Because I never thought of church as a job because I grew up in it. My daddy's a pastor. So we were cleaning toilets, setting up chairs, putting out communion, getting the Welch's grape juice, all the things, right? And so we had foot washing services. We did everything.
With an usher, the praise team.
I played the keys while and sang. Then I would go and teach the kids. Then I was a kid being taught. But then I would go back and lead worship, choir, playing, did sign language. Now, behold the Lamb. Like all the creative. So I did all of it in church. And so I didn't think of church as a job. So I always had a job. My dad had a job. He was a pastor, but he also worked at a country club, you know, so I saw that. And so in my mind, it was always two separate things. Even though I had church 7 days a week, I still had a regular job. So I've always worked in the world of PR, marketing, more marketing than PR, at firms, things like that. But then as time developed, I started doing that even for churches. You know, once I left my dad's church, which was the great falling away child, girl. Prodigal daughter.
Yeah, I had that talk too with my dad. I was like, damn, I'm not coming back. I love you. I was like 18, but it hurt because, you know, we're so loyal and we feel like you can't leave your dad at church. That's what they all say. You can't leave your dad.
Yeah, and mine wasn't even my choice.
Oh, wow. What happened?
Well, because I was everything to my dad's church. Like, I did everything. And this was after I was married. This is after I had my daughter. I had the opportunity to sing backgrounds with Mary Mary.
Nice.
And that was an opportunity that was totally a God thing. I didn't audition for it. God just really laid it in my lap, and I had the opportunity to go on the road with them. And I told my dad, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to LA, stay there for a little while. And I'm going to do this. Like, me and my husband at the time were like, he was just like, if you leave, don't come back. Who going to do all this stuff? You going to leave me to do this? Yeah. I was like, Daddy, I can't pass this up.
Right. I got to go.
Yeah. I got to go. And by this, I'm in my 20s, and like, because what people don't realize is a lot of people in the church are so fear-based. Like, nobody in my family had really flown before. Like, nobody had gone out of the country. And so I was like, no, I need to see. I'm already married at like 20. You know, I'm like, girl,
say the Kojic way.
The Kojic way.
Marry a burn.
Honey, and I wasn't even burning. I was a virgin. I wasn't trying to burn.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about sex and no penis. I didn't want it. You know, but I was like on the track to being on, you know, a career woman. But then when my boyfriend at the time proposed to me, I wanted to have a long engagement. And my dad was like, no, you getting married now. because I don't want people to think y'all having sex. I'm not having no sex with this man. I was trying to do my own thing, but anyways, yeah. But when I after we gotten married and I got this opportunity with Mary, my dad was like, "If you leave, go on and you made your choice." And I was like, "I got to take this out." I knew it was God, and so I went ahead and did it. Yeah, and then when I did it, it was kind of like his version of the story. I believe is that I chose him, and I said I didn't want to come to the church anymore. That was never my heart. My heart was to be like, I'm going to take this break, go on the road, see the world, see what God has for me in this music space. Like, because I always looked up to Eric and Tina, so I was like, sure, this is a huge opportunity, and so.
And a God opportunity.
Oh, God, it was a God one. I didn't put when you know it's God when you don't push for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've done a plenty of like interviews for jobs, but honestly, I literally live in your gift will make room for you. And I find myself in so many amazing rooms, half of them that I'm like, well, I don't even want to be here, but God has literally placed me in these rooms. And so when I did it, yeah, I didn't talk to my family for years. I wasn't welcome back.
No.
Yeah.
Well, help somebody. Okay. So for the person who is going through that right now, like what can you say to encourage them to keep going after the God opportunity and not get stuck in you ain't supposed to be doing that when God already said, no, I that's a gift for you.
Yeah.
Everybody else to understand. What kept you saying, I'm going?
What kept me saying, it was really the Holy Spirit for real. That it was like this knowing that I knew that I was supposed to do what I was doing. I didn't know. And that was probably at that point in my life, that was the hardest point in my life. Because at that point, I was like, God and my father were synonymous.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I didn't feel like I could hear from God unless I heard it through the voice of my father. Like, I would hear God and I'd be like, Daddy, this is what I heard, and it wasn't until I heard him break it down that I actually felt confirmation with it. But I knew that in this journey of the tearing away and trusting God, I was going to get to know who God was for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
I had been doing church and I was very judgmental too.
Me too.
Honey, I was judged. Won't he break that down?
He'll break it down with your own life.
He'll break it down by allowing you to be broken.
Yes.
And I literally was so broken in that season. I contemplated suicide at one of the highest points in my life. I'm out of the country. I'm seeing things I'd never seen before. Like literally had only flown once before this opportunity came.
Oh, wow.
Like God had told me to get my passport. And I'm like, for what? This was right after 9/11. I'm like, for what? Like, I've never flown before. So I ordered my passport and then but ordered a quick flight. Not ordered, but like booked a quick flight just to meet my team. I had a show in Kansas City, St. Louis. And so Kansas City was only a couple hours away, like a 30-minute flight. So I was terrified of it. I always thought that if I flew, I was going to die. Because that was the fear that was put on me because that's what everybody in my family thought at the time. And so book that.
You're getting on them planes.
Don't be getting on them planes now. But that, like, the limiting ideas, like, I'm so grateful that I pushed beyond it. So anybody that is going through something that maybe feels a tugging to do something that might be outside of the norm
or the first thing your family to do.
Exactly. Or might be taboo, like what we're going to talk about later with you. Like, if you know that this is something that God has given me, a gift that he's given me, no matter if anybody rocks with me or not, because at the end of the day, what that showed me is that anybody can walk away.
Yeah.
And I've learned it and we'll talk about this too, like going through divorce and now being on my own, like anybody can leave you.
Yeah.
But until you understand that the voice of God and hear his voice, you will almost think that he leaves you too. Because there was times that I thought that he left me, but it's not until I took that time to trust him along the way. Like if you feel that tugging to do something, keep tuning into what his voice sounds like. And he'll never leave you and never lead you astray. Like I've always come out with W's, like winning. You know what I'm saying? Even if I felt like I was losing, I always came out on top. So yeah, like if you're going through that, be okay trusting the way, but be sure it's God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if it ain't God, like here's the thing.
Let me say
sometimes God don't even care about the half the stuff we doing. I'm just being real.
Yeah, he don't.
He doesn't really care about the granular details of our lives. Should I go on tour? Should I not? And he was like, well, didn't I open the door?
And then wherever you go, I'm there.
I'm there. And here's the other thing. You were blessed.
Yep.
You're blessed in the city. You're blessed in the field. You're blessed in your coming. You're blessed in your, you are blessed. You know, so I had to realize no matter who's with me or not with me, I am blessed.
Yeah. That's fire. That's why I love you. Okay. So you wear many hats, I see.
Oh, gosh. And lots of weaves and wigs.
Singer, songwriter, and a speaker. Could you tell us a bit about who you are in each of these roles and how they intertwine to create the artist that is you?
Okay, yeah. Let's go. I love you put that.
Thank you. You know, thanks. I time of it. And do.
Okay. Singer, songwriter. So the singer part, like I said, that came from birth. Like I've been singing all my life, and I never thought that I could sing like everybody else because I, especially growing up in Kojic, I heard all like the Clark sisters. I felt pressure to sing like Dorinda,
Right.
and so, but I when I was back on, there, singing all the things. A girl, that was me.
Yeah.
The singing, tell a man fart on now to hold the lamb.
Right.
Dying. Your voice went dying. And I'm sitting playing. Dying, okay? Trying to finish this church singing low. And it was never me. Like, I knew I wanted to sing about God. I knew I wanted to sing about what he's done for me in a different way. I was always that person that wanted to find the cool music that represented God in a different way that my cousins that didn't believe, you know, like
could grab on it too.
Yeah, be like, I don't know. Yeah, they talking about, you know, like, you know, so I was always that. As soon as I turned 16, got my car, I was always that teen that was like, I had my little 6-disc CD chain.
For sure. They don't really know about it.
I thought I was doing something. It was in my trunk.
And that is funny. It was in the trunk. You just slide each other there.
Man, I'm married there. My Dietrich had, you know, I had all my other stuff. I was like, y'all gotta hear this new. I thought it was breaking news, you know. So I would have everybody at the car just bumping my tunes, you know. And so I always knew I wanted to make music that was edgy and that was, you know, something different. The singer side always was a part of me, but figuring out my voice along the way, even with different producers that wanted to keep me in that church box, or I was swallowing every service and be my voice gone for a week. I didn't know what it was. I didn't want it. I felt like it was something to do. But it wasn't until I connected with a guy named JR, she goes by Courtney Orlando now, but he was with Cross Movement back in the day. He was in St. Louis, and he looked like Lenny Kravitz. He had this crazy hair. He would always wear leather pants. I would see him. I didn't think he was a Christian artist at all. I would hear him sing. He literally sounded like a Lenny Kravitz, and I was like, oh. It was. So he heard me sing before and something, and we connected. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to like my voice, because every time I would hear my voice back before him, it would cringe me. I'd be like, I don't want to sound like that. Oh, I sound 190. Like, I don't like it. When I got with him, he was like, you have to write your stuff. So that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, but I'm not a writer. I don't even know the first thing about formulating music. So the writing side started coming from him. I always wrote things. I would just, like at church, I would repeat things like vamps and stuff like that. Or I would create like a choir song. We would always, you know, do that. But like as far as like a song that you might hear on the radio, I didn't do that. So writing came from that. And when I started writing with him, I didn't know what Cross Movement was. And so he signed with all of the Lecrae's, the Truth, the Ambassador, and he was like the only singer. So he asked me to come help him write on his album. He's like, dope. Wrote on his album, sang his album. And that's how the Christian hip hop world found out who I was as a singer and a writer. That's when I started writing for all the other guys, because I got integrated through Courtney to that end. And then with the speaking piece, like I was ordained by the time I was 18, you know, so I've been speaking in Kojic stuff, you know, wifey doing all that stuff. I've been doing that all my life, but then I got ordained at 18. My dad then, you know, put me over a lot of things. So the speaking side, we had the pressure of having like 10-minute sermons and stuff where he would like ding us and be like, you know, so I've been speaking all my life, but then it developed more. I would say when I really partnered with John Maxwell and became a speaker and leadership coach through him, and Roddy and all those guys on the team that like really fine-tuned me with speaking. Like I really wanted to develop a keynote. And then podcasting was something that kind of fell in my lap when I was working with Joyce Meyer for 10 years. And ended up being on her podcast. And they asked me to be, a host on that. And so that 4 years, I was a host of a podcast that was reaching over 11 million subscribers, so people actually loved what I had to say. And then the radio piece, like that's even developing more.
I know. She's on the radio.
I'm on the radio, girl.
I know.
I'm on the radio a lot.
I know.
And it's Erica Campbell on her show and Willie Moore Jr. on his show at times. And so I don't know what God's doing with that. I always, like I said, I listen to him and I just go with the flow.
Yeah. And I mean, but that's what happens when you give God a yes and you don't worry about everything else that's happening or not agreeing with where he's trying to take you.
The yes is uncomfortable.
Oh, it's uncomfortable as heck. It's very, I was going to say, it's heaven. It's uncomfortable as heaven. No, the other one, but it's uncomfortable because it's almost like labor. You gotta push that thing.
You have to birth it out, push it out. You have to figure it out. You also have to trust the process.
Yes.
Because the yes comes with a lot of like uncertainty
and no's and everything else.
And not necessarily a plan.
Yep.
Just a yes from God. Because I love to be strategic. But this new phase of my life, I've learned to write somewhat of a vision and just kind of like,
okay, right.
Because I've been very meticulous in the past and it's made me very sad, depressed when things don't work out the way I thought they were going to work out. And so really just because like I look at things like even stuff like my following and all the things I've done and all of my accomplishments and everything I've helped so many people do for their brands. And well, wait, what about? At a certain point, you want to be acknowledged for the work you've done.
Yes, for sure.
I was literally talking to somebody the other day. I was like, I've done a lot of work in a lot of different industries, in the church world, with who I've worked for and with, musically, written songs for, and nominated for Grammys, all kinds of things. And it just doesn't. I was like, but you got to keep. I know that's how I started off with my heart posture. I know what I want now. I saw Kolk open basically saying a lot of people don't get where they're going. They don't know what they want. I know what I want. I know that if my God said that he'll do exceedingly above all I could ask or think, I got to ask and think and he supersede even if whenever that is.
Yeah.
It ain't it, but I'll
that's
see.
True. Not yet, but it's coming.
It's coming.
And somebody said, but how soon? It's soon. So
yeah,
it's coming. You just got to keep going.
He says, soon come.
Yep. So,
I need to get that. That's another tattoo I need to add.
Come on, we're going to put soon.
Just to encourage myself.
Right.
Period.
It's coming. Just breathe.
When it's soon.
Period.
Son. It's annoying. I don't like soon.
But you're doing so much, so it's kind of like your journey has been beautiful, though. Seriously.
It's been a beautiful, and that's what I'm learning now at this big age, is enjoying the journey more.
Yeah. Because you should be everywhere.
I'll be everywhere.
In all the rooms, okay?
And I'll be like, how I get here? I'll be at pastors' houses, politicians' houses. Look at that.
It's favor.
It's favor. But where's the money?
Okay.
So.
Period. Where is it? It's coming. Look, soon.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I get with you. Okay. So let's shift gear. So your personal life has also been a journey. Okay. From being a virgin who married and then went through a divorce to now starting over. How has this transformative experience affected your mindset today? And how has it shaped your relationship with your daughter?
Yeah. Well, like I was started off when I got married at 20. Like by the time I was probably about 30, I started writing a book called The Virgin Married.
Okay.
Just because of all of the misconceptions I had surrounding sex. I was a novice when it came to sex because the church didn't talk about it.
Oh, not at all.
I just kept a clean, and me and her didn't have a relationship.
My vagina.
My vagina. My vagina. I didn't have no I didn't know her.
Right.
And so I go from being a nun to a stripper overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what I was doing when I was married. And so one of the things I was writing in the book is like dispelling some of those misconceptions. Marriage was not what, like immediately, I remember being younger, seeing people get married and be like, I bet they had sex all the time.
Girl.
I was like, hormone driven when I was younger.
Non-existent.
Non-existent. So many people in non-existent, like sexual experiences in their marriage. It was very, very sad. So anyways, and I was one of them for a big part of it because in my mind, it was hard to separate sex and sin.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was so condemnation, with the sex is such a big no in the church.
Mm-hmm.
And never
Dirty, just nasty, just scum.
All of these humans here, though.
If we can't do that.
I thought that was the way we asked them.
Okay.
It's dirty. And so, like, really dispelling that, like, that was a big journey. And then getting married and really exploring that more, having so many hurdles and getting pregnant early in our marriage. Like, I was 3 months married. No, I was 6 months married, and I found out I was 3 months pregnant. So we got pregnant, like, after being married only 3 months. My womb was warm. Okay. So then what that did was also because it totally, I wasn't ready to be married per se. I ended up really being afraid that I was going to get pregnant again. Like after I had my daughter. So that even because everything was so fast forward in my life and changed so drastically in the plan that I thought God had given me, which this is a constant recurring message in my life. It was relinquishing that plan. But anyways, after having her, being afraid of sex, then getting into the groove of it after being married for 20 years, figured it out. But then having the betrayal of finding out my ex was having an affair, and then the divorce. Before the divorce, I really thought we were going to get back together. I was so delusional. I always putting scriptures in my shoes and everything.
Oh, wow.
I was standing on business and on the word.
On the word.
Okay.
You put it in your shoe.
I was like, God, like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, our family is blessed, honey. We are blessed. That man was gone.
That's not funny.
It is, man. Gone. I mean, God, and I was really delusional. And that's one thing that I really want to help women. When a man shows you that he doesn't want you, let him go. Like, let him go. And that goes for men too. If a woman, like whoever, like if somebody shows you, and that goes with family. If they don't want, and I made a post recently, like, don't update me on somebody that, whether it's an old church, an old pastor, an old boss, an old friend. If you don't see me linking with them, you don't see me posting about them, they're like, what did I tell me? I didn't.
Because it ain't.
It ain't. Who? I don't remember them. So it's like, it's just one of those things where, like, if people let you go, learn how to let them go. It will help the healing process more. So, like, figuring that out and now being completely, and my daughter, because I raised her to love her father. I raised her because I wanted to have such a great relationship with my dad. And it was decent when it came to church, but we didn't have a real good personal relationship at all. I raised my daughter to love her father. Like I was like, daddy, daughter date. I'm putting it on the calendar. I was a planner. I was like, donuts and daddy, cookies and daddy and tea and that. And I wanted to show my daughter that I was a successful Black woman. So I was working. I was starting businesses, being, accomplishing goals. And so our relationship wasn't as bonded as I would have wanted it to be. So I was so very focused on her having a strong, so I'm like, a girl doesn't know who she is. She don't have a father's approval and da. Oh, wow. I'm thinking about who she's going to be as a woman from a man's perspective and not wanting her to go through the identity thing that I had going on with my mind. So it was, although hurtful, it was understandable eventually when my daughter ended up, like moving with her dad, and I encouraged it because I could just tell she was miserable. Yeah, like I was the rule person. You were good cop, bad cop, and ladies, don't always allow yourself to be that person. Make room to be the firm parent too. And I'm grateful that I was a mom so young that now that I'm 42, my daughter's in her 20s, you know, we can, and it's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful now, but it was hard seeing her in the wedding and, you know, helping him do all these different things. You're like, wow, that was difficult. But like how it's transformed is now we've gone through, like the Bible talks about, a brother is born through adversity. I always believe that once you go through a tough time with someone, and I believe me about, I've been through plenty of tough times, but like now she's an adult. Yeah. We're able to share that experience, and not just that experience. It was right in the middle of COVID too. So it's like, we went through a lot in that time space. And so, going through counseling together. That is still, yeah. Like that was one thing that I was like, I believe you, because we need to learn how to talk together and communicate. I need to learn. I'm used to being your mom, telling you what to do. And I wish I didn't do that as much when she was a kid. But now as an adult, I don't want to do that at all. I want you to trust me. And if you ever want my advice, I want to give it to you. But I mean, I was raised on the whole thing of, I'm not your friend, I'm your mom. I ain't one of your little friend. Don't talk to me. Don't talk. And we ain't talk about sex. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of it. No, I want to hear all of it. I want to be the person to come. Yeah. I want to be the person that you come to ask me about any and everything. Yep. I want you to find me as a safe space. And I believe that we are on a good journey of that. She calls me about just about anything. You know, like, and I love that. I don't mind being her little friend. Right. I actually want to be her little friend, but there's always still a lot of respect. She'll never cross that line where she'd be like, shut up or nothing like that. Oh, no, we're not doing that. So, wait. Not doing that. But talk to me. Yeah, and it's cool because she's so pretty. She's 5'9", I'm 5'1". Oh, and it's always a booster when people like, that's your sister. No, that can't be your daughter. I know it is. It is though. It's so fun. Like I love our journey now. It's dope. Yeah. I want to go back to this church talk real quick. Because a lot of women now, when I was 11, they asked us in church, what do we want to be when we grew up? And everybody said all the normal: firefighter, doctor, teacher. And I sit right further than them. And I said sex therapist. You did it. Sure. I did in church. Oh. So you know I got a whipping. How did you know what a sex therapist was at 11? You let it. So, the reason why I know what a sex therapist is because I knew what a therapist was. So I didn't really know the ins and outs. However, I knew that we couldn't have sex. It was always talked about like, no. So as a kid, I'm like, so what y'all talking about? And why can't we do that? What does it even look like? Right. Like, so what do you feel? Yeah. And all the things. And I mean, I was a virgin for a long time, by the way. Like if I would have got married the same age as you, I would have still been a virgin as well. Yeah. So it's kind of like sex for me growing up in church felt bad. Yeah. Like it felt like I'm sinning against the Lord. Like, like this is not what he called me to do. But when I got older, after I said I want to be a sex therapist because y'all keep talking about this, but I feel like we all need help in this sex area, even at 11. So once I got older and I started really, really knowing what it meant to have sex, I was just like, oh, that's why y'all don't want us to have it. Got it. And I still hadn't had it personally, but everybody around me was. So by that time, I'm in high school. Of course, everybody's having sex. Yeah. There's somebody right behind the steps at the gym underneath the bleachers back in the day. They doing it now. And I'm like, dang, people sneak to have this. They kill to have this. They fight over a guy. What in the world does this thing feel like? Mm-hmm. And it took me on a journey of learning what sex was before I actually had it. Yeah. And I even said one day to my sisters, like, I'm going to choose who I give it to because everybody first time sucked. It was bad. It was horrible. It was this. And I'm like, that's not going to be my story. And I remember starting, put my business out there. And I ended up having my son, of course, Paulie. I love him. He's a gift. But I can honestly say that I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And not even like, it's like, stay away.
So how are we supposed to do this in marriage?
Yeah.
And if we're to stay away, how do we quickly turn this thing on when we get married and it's okay to have it now? How do you think the church should do better with teaching both? Not you save it for marriage, and this is what happens after marriage. Do you think that should be taught before marriage, or do you think you should get married and then we have the class?
No, I think you should have it now. I think you should have it before marriage. It's the same thing when he talks about all the podcasts at Dr. Jamal. Like you talked about like knowing your blood type.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? The better you move and grow. And then honestly, what I've learned in my parenting style, take it or leave it, I felt like the more I exposed my daughter, the less curious she became about
Because
it.
that curiosity will kill the cat.
Yes, and like it made things. It took the sneakiness out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It took if you go back to the garden with Adam and Eve, it took that Adam, where are you? Hiding in the fig leaf deal away from
Who
it.
told you you was
Who
naked?
told you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like God, honestly, bro, admit if you did. You know what? Maybe you would have said this is nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like maybe I ain't trying to
Tell you what to do with nothing, but
you know, it was a long time ago, but I'm just saying. But I know for me and the way that I've parented my daughter, I've exposed her to just about everything. So I now did not want, I believe, ignorance like causes people to explore more than they need to because they're just curious, and then they hear their peers talking about things, and it sounds juicier when you hear it, and then you want to already have that peer pressure. So no, I think the church needs to do a way better job at talking about sexuality in the church. You know, like I think we'd have a lot more honestly, I think you'd have a lot more abstinence
for sure.
See, you know, like if I'm being honest, like I think you'd have the church would experience more, less scandal.
Yep.
People are just actually honest. Like I think if men's groups were actually talking, like talking about sexuality, talking about what they want, you know, and learning how to communicate that to their wives, you know, then it'll be fewer people tipping out.
Yeah.
If it was more mothers that had 15, 11 kids, why did you drop like it's hot? Mother Thompson, huh? You was doing something in that gown. You know? Like you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times they weren't even enjoying it. They just let me, like I remember my great grandma when she had dementia, she's like, they ravishing me. Like it wasn't a fun sexual experience. I think if people like told people different things, we wouldn't have to find out on the internet or in these groups that are, you know, I think there's a way to do it.
Or in life period, like learning, like I pray that, you know, my life, my experiences, even my mistakes help women not experience what I had to learn in the freaking streets. Like, because these men, because my daddy loved me so well, I really thought all the men were like him. And men know out in the street that if I'm nice, she gonna give me whatever I need. And I think the church needs to just give like real practical life tools to girls to say, I need you to wait because there are so many things that come with having sex that y'all aren't even ready for. And your 13-year-old mind can't even think about what I'm about to say. So it's like, I want for sure. And even at a young age, I was like, I just want to have a class I used to say, when I get married, because in church, you had to be married to be certified. Yeah. About with anything. And so I was like, when I get married, I'm just going to have a class. It's called Sexy and Saved. Like you could be sexy and saved. So corny. And it does. And so I was like, well, this is me in high school, like, because I'm just so tired of being blocked off from that side of me to where it's just till it's null and void.
I think that's great. And I think even if the church, we have so many platforms now of like even these types of platforms where people like us, beautiful women, you know, that are vibrant can talk about things like that. But I think even in the church, equipping moms maybe. Maybe it's less about talking directly to the kids. If it's like talking to moms about how to introduce so many church kids and that I Christian kids that I know that never had the sex talk.
Yeah, they haven't.
And so like, even if it's parents being equipped on how to talk to their teens, period. like how to talk to your kids, period, about sex, about bullying, about depression, about marijuana, about
Everything.
maybe that's where we start, where it's from more of a parental place.
And they can decide.
And they can decide, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Instead of like giving, because I really do feel like, so I retract what I said earlier. I do feel like the messaging primarily needs to come from the parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do think that a lot of churches and people, I don't like get stoned. I think the until the church gets a better handle on sex, I think it needs to stop being condemned from the pulpit, because like we've had so many leaders break everything that they had said that these kids are like,
all right, whatever. You're gonna go do it tonight.
Right, with her, him, and them.
Right.
You know, it's like, come on now. Like, I think it needs to be from the parents. And I also believe in, even though like my village initially that I had was for my daughter, somebody that was really close to me and my family, who was a mentor to my daughter, was the one I found out was having an affair with my ex-husband. So it took a lot, and because I believed in having strong women in my daughter's lives that could support the messaging of what I was saying to her. So I do believe, I still, even though it's still a touchy spot, I do believe in a tribe of people around, men and women, to help with with the kiddos.
That's fire.
So maybe not the church. I believe in the church outside the four walls, you know?
Yeah.
But I do believe the church needs to have more equipping conversations with parents.
To equip them, because half of them don't know either. Yeah.
And maybe that's the way he started. I started with them.
And then trickled down. Mm-hmm. I like it. That's a plan.
We're going to get in every church right now.
All around the world.
Consultants for it, please hit up Joy and Jay if you'd like to have this at your church.
Right. We're doing it. We're going on tour. Yeah. Okay. So alongside your personal journey, you've also embarked on a holistic health journey too. Could you share this with us and how this aspect of your life has influenced your overall well-being?
Yeah. Before I got married, I was a cheerleader. Like I was a cheerleader, and I played ball too long, 5'1". I was a point guard. I was a ball point. I'm never really anyone. My thighs are too thunder. However, that's it. But I for sure was a cheerleader in high school and in college. And then I started cheering for a semi-pro football team.
Okay.
And I was on a fast track of trying to become a Rams cheerleader, because at the time the Rams were in St. Louis. And so in my mind, that's where I was headed. So I was very, very fit, very healthy, training. I was doing the fit classes for my church and, you know, training people and things like that.
You do Zumba?
I mean, basically.
Oh, okay.
90.
You're not.
Okay. But anyway, but no, like I was doing that. So I was always conscious of it. But once I had my daughter, after being kind of like pushed into being married a lot faster than I wanted to be, let's keep it real. I wanted to marry my husband. I didn't want to marry him when I married him. I wanted to wait until I finished grad school. So I wanted to have like a long, like extended engagement, just like I'm committed to you, committed to me. If you can't say committed to me in this time, we ain't going to be together. Correct. You know, like that was how my mindset was. But my dad was not really feeling a long engagement. So when that happened, I felt like my rights, what I felt was right for me, was stripped away. And then the whole sex piece of feeling like I had to give myself away to my husband. My first night of being married, I was in the bathroom crying. Like, what? Oh, I don't know. I've never had a tampon inside me. Like I was told that those were sinful. So I'm like, don't. I had just started going to the gynecologist like a couple months before. So I'm like, I need to get on somebody's birth control. I'm not ready to have no kid, you know? And so like I was panicking. Yeah. And so from that, then still getting pregnant on birth control, I just felt like, well, I guess, God, you just do whatever the heck you want with me. I don't have a say-so. My dad had to say so. Yeah. My new cousin has to say so. And clearly, God, you have to say so on everything from schooling to who I married to when I have a kid to now my body. So at first, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was very like still thin, still had 6-pack and everything, all the way up to my last trimester. All of a sudden, wow, woman. wow, I'm a woman.
Yes.
It happened like month 8. Like, and it was so traumatic to me because all throughout the pregnancy, I was that kid that would stick pillows under my shirt, wanting to know how it would look when I would be pregnant. I craved being a mother, but because my journey didn't look anything like, like so my whole pregnancy, I looked fit. I was still working out, hearing some, I ain't look pregnant. Then all of a sudden, that that last trimester came out, month 8 came, and I just blew up. Had to go on bed rest and everything. Oh. And so I went, I say this all the time, the journey from being a 0-1 to a 1-0, like overnight, it felt like I woke up and I was Fiona from Shrek. It's like, what happened? What happened? And then after that, I had such a terrible pregnancy, like it was hard on my body. I pushed for, I was later for 26 hours, and then I had a C-section. And I was down bad for months. Then I had my stitches ruptured, so then I was down more. I didn't cheer anymore. And now I'm a wife and a mom. And all of the things that I had planned, it did something psychologically to me. And because the church didn't also talk about depression, whether it be natural depression or postpartum, right? I was just depressed. Yeah. I didn't know. So I stopped moving. So all that to say, at that point, I gave up. I was kind of like, so now I'm just a thick chick. And I'm just going to not care. Right. And I lost all interest in anything healthy. And so going down that track, I really did. But then it wasn't until right before I found out about, what was going on with my ex-husband, I started going to therapy, and I really tapped into that, what I just said. And I'm like, I got to start on the inside. Yeah. Like pastors' kids, like we, especially back in the day in Kojic, we would eat dinner after church, and we had church every night. Yep. So after church, we'd run and get a box of chicken, eat this up in the car on the way home. We serving the people. People don't understand. This is why a lot of pastors' kids wild out. Because it's not a fun life. It's not. Everybody's eyes are on you. The scrutiny is on you. And you either become the wild child that does whatever, or you become the perfectionist that wants to get everything right. And that was me. I was trying to be the perfectionist. But we got chicken wings and here, eat this. And we small, so it don't look like it's going nowhere. Right. And so, but my body started to crave. That's all I knew how to eat. And when you pick up the pounds, you just keep eating it. Yeah. It's what you do. And so eventually, after I started going through therapy, and really tapping into that, and how I was really kind of like trying to beat the negativity to the punch. It's terrible. Yeah. Like I was just really trying to beat the negativity to the punch, and I was just like, I'm just going to keep eating. I knew I was supposed to eat. I'm like, forget it. And so, but right before, God really started working on my heart and my mind, about holistic living and eating healthier. And, now, like, thanks to you, learning about my blood type, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Like I had realized at a young age, because I had scoliosis, I was getting arthritis in my back. Like what? Too vibrant. But a lot of that inflammation was because I'm AB positive and I'm not supposed to eat chicken. I didn't know. Yeah, we ate that every day. I just told you my day was going chicken wings and legs would be here. You want a biscuit? Yep. And blue fries. So just like we just eating. Yeah. Because they wanted us to be able to go to bed when we got home. Yeah. We had church almost every night of the week. So, but like giving up chicken, I didn't realize I was killing myself. I was eating avocado because I heard healthy fat. I love avocado. I love guacamole. But for my blood type, it's not good for me. So just really learning and giving myself grace. And then even if the outward exterior, because my weight fluctuates. My weight fluctuates now. I'm a grown woman. Like, I eat one piece of bread. It's called honey. I wish I could share. I would donate. Honey. And then some of the stomach go, to right. That would be amazing. We could. But I'm learning in this holistic way. It's not just about how I look, because I'm still working on that. It's about enjoying the journey. The whole thing about my life now is about enjoying the journey. Like enjoying the fact that the ups, downs, the, size 10, size 8, size 12, like whatever it is, I'm beautiful. Yeah. I'm who I am. I have control over what I put in my mouth. Like the other day, my friend offered me a chicken strip, and I knew it was wrong for me, but I said, I want it right now. I haven't had it
in a long time. I need to get this chicken strip.
Just one. And I didn't beat myself up for it. You know, it's not about being like, I got to do everything right. But it's just like, I made and here's the thing. Well, now that I'm like divorced, I'm not working in a church, I'm at my relationship with God, I really know that He's giving us the authority to like really make decisions for ourselves. And so I sit in that and I own that now. And I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I'm like this
body on him.
Look at my Edna from
Girl, those. What did you say that? Now I see it. Yeah, now I can't unsee it, Jay.
Babiano.
Anyway, okay. Okay. You spoke about the fivefold ministry a few times and the concept of church beyond the walls.
Mm-hmm.
How do these spiritual beliefs influence your work and your interactions with people, your audience, everything around you?
Yeah, well, I believe when I say fivefold ministry, I'm talking about
prophets, teachers, pastors, leaders,
all the different positions as a leader in the church. I believe everybody has some part of gifting, but those that are like in proper seats in the church. I believe a lot of times, especially in Westernized culture, and I see it overseas as well, because what overseas is now trying to mimic a lot of things that they see in Westernized culture, because it seems to be so very profitable, and so being in that marketing space and working for so many large ministries in my life, I just realized that a lot of the dysfunction in the church is because of improper, like, fivefold ministry positioning. And don't nobody want to talk about that. I'll talk about it from a good experience. I literally love Joyce Meyer. Like, I worked for her for 10 years. I had ups and downs in the ministry, but like, who she is as a person is who she is, And one thing I love about her, she understands her positioning in fivefold ministry. She says, you ask her, are you a pastor? She's like, no. I'm probably not going to lead nobody to the prayer of salvation. I'm probably not going to visit nobody in no hospital. That's not my calling. My calling is to be a teacher. I'm a glorified Sunday school teacher, basically. She's like, I'm going to teach you how to apply God's word to your everyday life the same way I did. And that's it. And because I've seen her do that and sit in that and be okay with that, this was given her at over 50 years or 80 years old, able to live one of the most leisure lives with one of the most successful ministries in the world. Like, she's impacting millions of people every single day. Simply because she didn't need the ego boost of calling herself a pastor. Apostle. She don't even call herself Teacher Joyce. She don't like when people call her Mama Joyce, sometimes she's like, I'm not your mom. Like, you want to put something, church culture want to say,
we got to give you a title for the matter.
Joyce. I love that about her. And I wish more people would do that, which is why I literally love sitting in the office of being Jay. Like, there used to be a time there, because people used to diminish who I was in the church, even though I was ordained. They would call all the men pastor, but with me, they'd be like Jay. And I'm already a little person, so then Napoleon, like, and I'm a black woman.
Minister Jay?
Yeah. Oh, no, Pastor Jay. So look, I'm the worship pastor, or the creative pastor, or the global worship pastor, or the global creative pastor, or the executive pastor. How does everybody else that doesn't look like me get called pastors? I don't. Like, so I just have to fight for that. But then finally got really broke me down. It was like, you are who you are. And honestly, I ain't no pastor for real. I mean, I'm ordained. That's not my spiritual gifting. Like, I'm not. After so many people like come to me sad about stuff, I'm like, girl, what you gonna do? Like, look, I don't want to hear it no more. Like, not my gifting. I believe pastors should smell like sheep. Most of our pastors these days smell like baccarat. Like, it don't smell like sheep. It don't smell like you in the trenches. Like the whole reason I went to Joyce Meyer's ministry was not because of the grandiosity of the ministry. It was because of a pastor that was at the St. Louis James Center. It was him and his wife, Jeff and Jamie Allensworth. Those are probably the most pastoral people I've ever encountered. Like, would be on the ground with someone that was clearly having withdrawals from crack, you know, and just hugging them. Didn't care if he had on Versace, or just didn't care if he had snot. After church, if somebody had a full face makeup and they were crying, bring it. They don't care if he had like something plastered. He didn't care. His wife didn't care about where the kid lived or whatever. If the house smelled like sewage, she sat there. Pastors.
You speaking to me?
Pastors should smell like sheep. So I believe that has transformed everything about me. It's helped me sit in who my identity is.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a title. I don't have to have and I think a lot of these pastors that are honestly probably more motivational speakers or authors, or should sit in the seat of a podcaster, or should be doing keynotes, making $16,000, $25,000 a keynote. Should be doing that instead of preaching every Sunday on a pulpit. And people looking at them and be like, "No, pastor," and they don't look. That ain't really their thing. They want to go out the back door.
Yeah, they're not hugging you.
They don't want to, and that's not a bad thing,
right?
That is essential office, bro, sis. That ain't your office, and it's okay. So this allowed me, especially even in what I do for work now, and helping to brand and market these leaders. I'm like, why are all these pastors so gravitated to? Because I'm called to them. I'm one of the ones that even if you don't ever want me to, do work for you again, I'm going to sit with you and be like, let's talk about your spiritual gifting. Really think you're an apostle. I think it's supposed to start churches and find pastors to put inside. You could put it all over the world. And you could create sound around the world. But no, if you stationary here and you miserable, you mean to your wife, your kids, you're miserable. So it's transformed my life. And it's also given me purpose in my own walk, in who I am and what I believe I'm supposed to do in ministry outside of the church. I don't really feel called to be. I did on staff at a church for years, but that's just not my calling right now. My calling is to be with people. My calling is to heal myself. My calling is to help pastors understand that maybe they're not even pastors. Jesus.
Sorry.
It's with you, buddy.
I hate to break it to you.
You hate people. Author.
Yep. I mean, but that's definitely something that needs to be definitely taught, because I'm telling you, in church, if you can speak or sing a little bit, oh yeah, you're the worship pastor. No. I just wanted to sing a song because God placed it on my heart to sing. I don't have to.
You're not you're actually an artist, and it's okay. You're meant to be famous.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say, I'm famous. You don't love people like that, and that's okay.
But you got to know
it. Be a bit narcissistic. And honestly, that's how God made you. That's a little bit okay. Go to therapy too. But that's okay. But don't feel like, and a lot of people in the church world, because we want to do what God's called us to do, and that's like, they're going back to that yes. Being afraid to give that yes, because it's like, well, yes, but I need a salary. I need income. I need insurance. I need to take care of my kids. How can I fund my journey? Because I've had to separate my mind of being like, this is principal income. This is purpose. I believe purpose will, if I pursue purpose, inevitably, it'll open up all the streams of income. It'll offer wealth, joy, peace, all these. Yeah. I look at Joyce. Joyce is chasing purpose.
Yeah.
And I love that. And she's living one of the most comfortable lives I've ever seen a human live. When I see people that are just so focused on principle day to day, the rat race of it all, they're fidgety, they're shaken, they're nervous, they're mean, they're talking to people mean, they're rude, they treat people like minions. I don't like that. And that shows you when you're in that space, and this is to anybody watching, you probably don't want to hire me, and that's fine. And any of my clients, and you think I'm talking about you, I may be, but if this resonates, then just know that you need to go to the throne and figure out, where do I go?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Because if I honestly chase after purpose, like you said, this is your seat.
Yeah.
It's where you feel peace. This is where I believe God's going to send all of the wealth, all of the joy, all of the prosperity, because this is where they're supposed to be. You're not trying to fit into anybody else. And I encourage everybody to do the same.
Yeah. We love you.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. No, that was dope. Thank you. You just helped a whole lot of people just there. For real.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I might have lost a couple clients. It's okay. God, I'm chasing purpose.
That's it. And that's where the
What for me will be for me.
For sure.
And is for me will always find me.
Yeah.
Everything always worked out for me.
Yeah.
My God looks out for me.
Yeah.
My angels look out for me. So
all the time.
I had to sit in that though, because a lot of bad stuff happened to me. When the bad stuff happened to me, it was like, I don't, he don't like me. He uses me. I would always see myself on the chopping block, naked on the chopping block. And I was always used by church people, by pastors, by artists. She can do this. She can do this. You ain't got to pay. Well,
she'll be all right.
She'll be all right.
I hated hearing that.
But I would see myself visually doing that. And I had to pivot that look. Like, that ain't me.
Yeah.
I'm worthy, but I had to do the work of finding out that I was worthy. And I had to do the work of saying that, no, it all works out for me. And it was a pivotal moment after my divorce when I thought I was really, really pissed at God. I was pissed at the church because I felt like we didn't have enough resources, which a lot of churches don't have a lot of resources for people going through divorce, especially you're on the other side of it. You're not the one that committed adultery. And you're the one that was left behind. I've seen so many women that men did they thing with them, and then the woman just disappears. Where did they go? If he could resurge with a whole new one, where did the woman go? Like I refuse to be that. I refuse to be that. But like it wasn't until God showed me, in the image, because I was like, you betrayed me too, man. You had me doing all this stuff all my life. Like I did stuff for the church, for my dad, for ministries all around the world, artists singing your praises. And you let the one thing I prayed for was don't touch my family. Don't touch my husband. Don't touch my daughter. That's mine. That's the family I chose. Protect them. Protect me. And I refuse, I was adamant about that. Laying hands on the house, oil
everywhere, just drip.
Girl, going to town. And when that happened and he didn't make the choice to reconcile, oh God, no. I'm gonna see what this not going to church thing feel like. Now y'all don't want me. Y'all want what I do. You don't care that I'm bleeding out. You want me to keep singing. You want me to keep planning your events, your conferences, planning your strategies. Nah. So it wasn't until God showed me, he said, I'm crying with you. And I saw these big feet in like a puddle of water, and I heard like a heavy weeping. And that was like, God was like, I'm crying with you. That was my plan too. That was my perfect plan for y'all as a couple. Like I had a plan. Now I got to take what he left and do exceedingly abundantly above that. I got to blow your mind now. So I got to recarve something else. I'm weeping with you. Like, and so that was like an eye-opening moment. My friend Josh, he was somebody I actually mentored, him and his wife Bianca. And he said he's like, he confirmed like, God is crying. He's weeping with you, sis. Don't be mad at him. He's weeping with you. And that has been one of the most beautiful things, is also seeing all the people that I poured into pour back into me. It wasn't the established folks. It was the people I mentored all those years that poured back into me. That's been such a huge blessing to me to see them be so consistent. But yeah, God was weeping with us. He's not on the side like watch like a little ant.
Right.
No, he's crying. When you cry, he sees you and he's crying with you, but he doesn't want to see us hurt. So that helped me reconcile with the Lord, to know that it always worked out for me.
Yeah.
My God's crying with me. He don't want to take this L.
Not at all.
So he's gonna take this and work it out for my good.
To a win.
To win.
All that win. I win every day. And you're winning every day, clearly.
Every day. Thank you.
You are.
Welcome to my couch talk.
Right.
Couch talk.
Scatter paint and not take it. Okay, I love it. She's also an artist. We know that. So tell the people how they can find you and find this song 555. Come on.
Yes. So I have a song called 555. I started seeing 555, $5.55, $55.50. I started saying fives all the time. Like 5 always been my number. My birthday is November 5th. So like I always loved 11 and 5. Okay. And so, but the 5 situation, I started seeing that right before I found out about everything with my ex-husband. And I was like, what does that mean? I went to like different people in my life, and they're like, I believe that 5 stands for grace. And so it's like my one pastor at the time was like, I believe your grace to do this, this, and that. God's about to put grace upon grace upon grace on you, you know. And then another person was like, I do believe that you're probably about to go through something really tough. You're going to have to show a lot of grace, like extend grace. You're going to need grace. Only for the next about 5 years, you're going to really, you know, and I didn't know what was about to hit my life. And that's right after that, I found out about everything in I felt like Will Smith, my whole life got turned upside down. It was terrible. And so I wrote this song called 555. I wanted something that, even though it was the starter of a terrible season of my life, I want something else like fun, Afro beats. I love it.
And it's so fun.
And a little bit wind. You know what I mean? So yeah, 555. Now the remix with 555 of the truth. It might be out by the time it's aired. So if it is, then download that. If it's not out yet, it's on the way. You know, and so but yeah, so that's out even on all digital platforms, streaming platforms, on everything artists right now. But I got really big contracts coming up that I really pray. So y'all be praying for me. That God gives me wisdom on who to partner with, because I know that I need an engine behind me. But the bigness of what God wants to do in my life, I need a team. Yeah. I'm accepting that. I'm a big deal.
You are.
I'm a big deal.
You are.
And so I need a big squad. And all this training I've been doing to help everybody else is just like teaching me the muscle I need to have about what God's got for me to do. So you want to follow me? Follow me on social media. I mean, it used to be just Jay on everything. Everybody used to try to call me Psalmist Jay.
Got it.
It's literally
It's just Jay.
Yeah. But then I branded myself so well with that. Everybody was announcing me. It's just Jay.
Oh, wow.
Literally, now come to the stage. Just Jay. No. Or there was a just Jai. That's even worse.
But no, it's not it.
That's not me. You don't want those to read. But so now on Instagram, it's J Talks, because I do believe that God is using me in this season with my voice and my story and talking. So JAI Talk. The website is justj.com, JUSTJI.com.
And everything will be in the description below. So y'all, press the link, interact with my good sis, okay? And show her some love, okay? And get the song, 555. And dance to it while you brushing your teeth and stuff. And get ready. It's doing your get ready with me.
Period. Yes, put on your stories and stuff. And then your reels. Let me get that algorithm.
Okay. Why are you so silly? Anyway. So y'all, thank y'all for joining us. Jay, thank you for coming. And it's been a beautiful conversation. Your journey is remarkable. Seriously, I'm just proud to know you. For real. Because, you know, we're mirrors of each other. So if you're a big deal, I'm a big deal.
You are.
Huge. So yeah. Okay, so wherever you are, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter how you grow, there's always room for you right here on the couch. Till next time.